NBM of Africa don ready Gidigba to join body with security agencies to fight cybercrime wey pipo sabi as Yahoo. Neo-Black Movement NBM for Africa Worldwide don hold their 43th annual national convention and 16th annual lecture wey the theme na the fight against cybercrime, fraud and insecurity, the pivotal role of NBM of Africa wey shele on Saturday, June 4, 2022 for Uhuru Heritage Center, Amagba inside Benin City. Olorogun Kako wey be the number 9 national presido for NBM of Africa Worldwide come tok say the team na reflection of wetin fraud aka Yahoo don be for the world, say na serious security wahala wey fit scatter person business, companies and the country. E come tok say NBM of Africa dey better position to fight Yahoo and matter wey concern security for dis country sake of e dey part of their fundamental objectives and motto wey be social justice and equality for all. Say dem don set up trust fund wey go help their campaign against Yahoo and dem go collabo with tori pipo to help young pipo sabi the bad things wey Yahoo dey cause.
Welcome to today's event, the 43rd annual convention of NBM of Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, all members of NBM of Africa Worldwide, distinguished guests and members of the press. I'm honored to stand before you as the 9th National President of the Neo-Black Movement of Africa, otherwise known as NBM of Africa, and the chief host of 43rd National Convention and the 16th Annual Lecture of NBM of Africa. The theme of this convention is the fight against cybercrime, fraud, and insecurity, the pivotal role of NBM of Africa. This particular theme is not only centered on national concerns, but also a reflection of the global phenomenon of insecurity. Cybercrime and fraud are interrelated security issues that are presently considered a global threat. For us to evaluate the role of NBM of Africa in curbing this menace, we need to understand succinctly the meaning of cybercrime and fraud within the context of security. Cybercrime is the use of computers and other electronic devices that is internet-powered to commit various crimes that could be for financial benefits, to cause damage to a database of a formal or informal organization, individual, or countries. When the bank account of an individual, private enterprise, or corporate organization is hacked with the motive of withdrawing or transferring the funds therein without the authorization of the account holder, it is cybercrime. The use of an electronic device to hack into the database of a corporation, a state, or a country with the motive of causing damage to such database or retrieving information without authorization from the host of the database is cybercrime. Cybercrime is the use of an electronic device powered by the internet to misrepresent facts like identity with the sole aim of taking advantage of unsuspecting persons or organizations. Cybercrime is the invasion of intellectual property rights of a person and the use of such intellectual property to the disadvantage of the owner of the intellectual property. There are other types of cybercrime which include but are not limited to child pornography, violation of privacy, online prostitution, drug trafficking cartel, networks, phishing, harassment, cyber stalking, ransomware, and credit card fraud. We may not be able to dissect the various types of cybercrimes as enumerated above. However, the general insight into what cybercrime connotes is enough for us to understand that this type of crime is enormous enough to destroy the security structure of any individual business, enterprise, corporate organization, and indeed a nation. It may interest us to note that during the last COVID-19 pandemic that brought tears to the face of the world, billions of dollars were fraudulently wired by unscrupulous individuals who invaded and hacked into the United States of America database and stole via electronic means billions of dollars reserved as palliatives for American citizens. The actions of these unscrupulous elements caused further hardship, pain, and tears to the families of the actual beneficiaries of the palliatives. There were allegations by the Democrats in 2017 against the Republicans that the Russians manipulated the presidential elections against them in favor of President Donald Trump of the Republican Party by hacking the database of the electorate and manipulated the voting pattern to give Donald Trump victory. If indeed these allegations are true, it means the security structure of the USA was threatened. The unauthorized interference of the database, information of a person, group of persons, private or public corporations are seen and regarded generally as a breach of security. It must be emphasized that continuous cyber attack on individuals, private and public corporations will certainly affect their economic and by implication their security. In a bid to fight cybercrime, many countries have enacted laws to check the menace of cybercrime, and the law enforcement agents charged with the responsibility of combating crimes are trained and retrained in modern strategy of combating cybercrimes. The European Union has passed a treaty on cybercrime known as European Convention of Cybercrime. The United States of America is a signatory to that treaty, even though the USA is not within the European Union. The European Convention on Cybercrime makes it possible for all countries within the European Union, including the USA, to exchange knowledge, intelligence, information, and strategy in a bid to curb the menace of cybercrime, which is seen by all as a global security issue. New Black Movement of Africa, otherwise known as NBM of Africa, was founded in 1977 by young intellectuals at the University of Benin, Nigeria, with the following fundamental objectives as contained in Section 2 of the Constitution of NBM of Africa, which provides, thus, NBM of Africa shall be an organization based on the principles of democracy, equality, and social justice. 2, it shall be the cardinal policy of the organization and its organs to cooperate and exchange ideas with organizations whose aims and objectives are in harmony with those of NBM of Africa. 3, it is hereby accordingly declared that the organization belongs to all members of NBM of Africa, who, along with various organs and authorities established by the Constitution, must be guided by the provisions of the Constitution. NBM of Africa is a humanitarian, non-partisan, non-religious, non-tribal organization. The motto of the organization shall be social justice and equality for all. The organization shall inculcate a deep sense of belonging and patriotism in members. The organization shall protect, defend, and propagate the interests and welfare of its members. The organization shall strive to eradicate all forms of oppression, corruption, neo-colonialism, and social vices from society. The organization shall dedicate its resources to promoting, defending, and advancing Black solidarity, culture, and world peace. The organization shall protect and promote fundamental human rights of all persons, irrespective of race, social status, religion, and gender, in accordance with the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, as well as the African Charter on Human and People's Rights. A careful perusal of the fundamental objectives of NBM of Africa, most particularly objectives 5, 8, 9, and 10 vis-a-vis the motto of the organization, which is social justice and equality, one is convinced to conclude that NBM of Africa is better positioned to fight cybercrime and issues of insecurity in our society. NBM of Africa believes in social justice and equality for all. It is against our principle for anybody to involve in the cybercrime or any crime whatsoever. With the capital and human resources within NBM of Africa, we should be seen at the forefront of organizing campaigns against cybercrime. In recent times, NBM of Africa has been engaged in several community development services to assist our host communities. However, because of the effect of cybercrime on the economy and the security of the global community, NBM of Africa has set up a trust fund to champion the campaign against cybercrimes. This campaign shall be done in various tertiary institutions to draw awareness against cybercrimes and their potential damages. NBM of Africa has equally made consultations with print and electronic medias with a view of sponsoring publications, radio and TV programs that will create awareness among the young and old about what cybercrime is. Lack of knowledge is the reason why cyber criminals succeed in defrauding unsuspecting businessmen and the vulnerable old. NBM of Africa is equally aware that through the internet, terror groups recruit unsuspecting and vulnerable youths and use them for further criminal missions. NBM of Africa has over 3 million population strength. Hence, we intend to leverage on the numerical strength of the organization in preaching peace in compliance with paragraph 9 of our fundamental objectives. Every member of NBM of Africa should act and preach peace. 3 million apostles of peace and a crime-free society is indeed the best and better way to fight cybercrime and insecurity in our country and society where we live. Premised on the succinct analysis and presentation, I strongly believe our society will be a better place with less crime if NBM of Africa pursues vigorously its set programs to check the menace of cybercrime and insecurity. In doing this, NBM of Africa will partner with the various security agencies, namely the Nigerian Police Force, the EFCC, ICPC, and Civil Defense in the fight against cybercrimes and insecurity.
One of the speakers for the lecture, Femi Dare, will be the MD CEO Link Stride Security Systems, come talk say wetin dey cause insecurity na poor leadership, lack of ogbonge education, drug abuse, police brutality, social media, peer pressure, greed and others. He come talk say the only thing wey fit solve the matter for Yahoo with Kilikili and Tifitifi na make the government educate the people on the disadvantages of crime.
Insecurity in our country today and cybercrime is as a result of so many factors, ranging from poor leadership, lack of quality education, foreign influence, social media, drug abuse, police brutality and injustice. Not to talk about peer pressures and covetousness amongst our people. Misinformation also comes with that, also has a role to play in the aspect of insecurity. For every human being, there are 3 things that make up a human person or a soul: spirit, soul, and body. So is knowledge. Before you seek for wisdom, you must have knowledge. It's the knowledge that you know that gives you wisdom, and wisdom is what gives you understanding. They're all in 3 folds. We have a country, we have a continent that we must going to seek for the spirit, the soul, and the body of this continent. And I believe as members of the New Black Movement of Africa, this is one of the reasons why this topic is being discussed. I haven't mentioned the fact that the key elements that brings about insecurity. We talk about moral questions and value of systems, which we'll quietly look at as bad parenting. We've talked about the issue of greed, covetousness, which is why a lot of people engage themselves in cybercrime. There's a beautiful thing about this NBM that I read from what the lecture of the president. It shows that this great organization has some African values. And over time, these values has been eroded by the influence of social media and foreign influence. And they've always had their own agenda. And unfortunately so, or fairly true, we have a government, or specific government, which have not taken these issues very seriously. Let us believe in our country, play the role we can, see how we can stop the insecurity in our society, starting from us. The consciousness that we have must start from us. As a committed Nigerian, let us all do the little we can. And I'm so happy, I'm so glad that this organization is, with such followership, is preaching this message.
The other ogbonge speaker for the lecture, Edo State Commandant for the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps (NSCDC) for Edo State Command, Samuel Dan, come talk say na counter-terrorism, education and public awareness be the common approach wey fit help reduce the effects of Kilikili and Tifitifi and Yahoo.
Cyber criminals doesn't want to be detected. They want to do and go back freely. They want to use phone or gain access through use of violence. They can use deceit method providing false information to gain access. Terrorists hit and run into the civilian populace as they are not easily recognized. Countering cybercrime, countering insecurity will come by way of counter-terrorism.
As the lecture dey shele, members for NBM of Africa can use opportunity to ask questions wey concern security for Naija.
Mr. Femi, all protocols duly observed. During your presentation of your lecture titled Cybercrime and Insecurity, one aspect which actually captured my mind was when you mentioned that Nigeria has been invaded. The influx of some people from the Sahel into the country and all over Nigeria as Okada riders, Keke Napep riders, they are not Nigerians. How do we make these people Nigerians? And how do we, as a people, since the country has been invaded and we are all very passive, we appear not to be actually conscious that we have been sort of rounded up, waiting for when the explosion would come. How do we take these people out of our environment? Thank you.
Maybe we don't know that this country is so blessed and the resources that we have, even for the greed of leaders that we have always elected to govern our resources. It's so much. It's so much. And countries are invading us every day by creating the wrong narrative and misinforming our people. Now the question is, how do we get rid of them? Education, knowledge, like what we're doing today. Exposing this, once we have the consciousness that yes, truly and truly, we have been invaded, then we can begin to think how to defend our country as a people without taking sides. But what we're always seeing over time is people, look at it from the political perspective. But we're more civilized and more educated than that. The majority that are coming to our country, first of all, we know we have a very porous border. The wages for our Nigerian police force is not encouraging. We don't have the right people managing our security architecture in the country. We know what our issues are. But we must also see how we can use our strength to defend our weaknesses. As a people, it starts from being conscious. It starts from what we've just talked about. We know we're being invaded. Like in Lagos, for example, they banned use of Okadas. All the Okada riders they are going back to their respective locality. There are so many ways you can begin to gather intelligence. For each local government by local government, put a stadium, a sports center, let people go there and enjoy themselves. Create membership. Before you go in, you take your biometric, you register, you will know who you are. Because we must begin to, I've never seen a country try to fight insecurity and you don't know who comes to your country. It's a joke. Even an armed robber will lock his door for his house before going to rob you outside. How can you have a porous borders? So there'll be presentations, there'll be projects, requests, but our country, our leadership do not choose the priorities. Because if we do not take care of insecurity in our country, stop people from invading us through social media and misinformation, porous borders all over the place, it's going to be difficult to fight. But we as a people, information that we're sharing across different platforms, from what we know, from what we have read, is what we are doing right now. This is the least we can do at the moment. And I believe by the grace of God, each and every one of us that believe in this country, we begin to spread this information, across the platform and areas of their influence. And let's see what little change can bring with that. Thank you, sir.
Chief Henry Osatobazo will be the Awarakani of Benin Kingdom, Pa Ernest Amadasu will be chairman for NBM Board of Founders, Apostle S. Erogoja, Gerard Azonobo, Olorogun Patrick Manager, Tayo Olutayo and Olorogun Regina Adasi will come follow TMC 3 people yan say them dey happy with the event and this now ogbonge initiative where NBM of Africa they play to help black people for Africa.
The organization is working stronger. This is their 43rd convention. I would say it's a huge success. The organization has only come home, and I appeal to them to continue to broadcast the revival of ancient Benin. In fact, the return of the artifacts is an historical step to tell the world that Benin is going to be revived. Benin is going to be stabilized, and I believe that this organization, New Black Movement, is going to be an instrument for that. There's nothing secret. I mean, all the members came in their traditional attires, and they all look beautiful. That is the best way, and it's good. We should be proud of Africa. We should be proud of our culture. So I thank the members, the president and the members.
This our convention, this 43rd one, so it is very, very important to us because if you notice now, we dey come back to our traditional home ground. Because for us, Benin City, I then take born this organization. And Benin to us, now we dey call the cradle of black civilization. That's why if you see them, we dey revere the person of the Oba of Benin. Because even when this organization starts, now that palace from the great African nationalist Oba Kenzwa II, now we receive blessings. You know, where the Oba even talk, say, the death of this organization, they not go ever hear them. So since then, we try to promote our culture. And at the same time too, we try to look our society, how our society go take better, how our society go fit take make our children, we will fit take get hope for the future, for our children. Make all the negative things where they happen. And that's why if you even see the topic of today, insecurity dey inside, cybercrime dey inside, and all these things na problem where NBM don't notice over the years. Because that's also research we they do into most of all these things. And when we do the research finish, we will constantly try to bring the solution to most of this problem. And we say don't look and say, now the value system where they our country, we don't come out. Now make most of all these bad things they happen. So and that's why you see like this, our Uhuru Heritage Center where we just built so, now International Conference Center, and at the same time, now institution where we say now from here when they go expand, was they do vocational skill acquisition and to teach African history and African studies, so that our people go fit understand their culture. Because who don't understand the culture, not get identity. If you don't get identity, problem don't come with that. And that's why NBM will make sure say our cultural values will make our people understand that, so that our people go also understand their history. Because once you understand your history, you not go ever fit go lost. The thing be say for this organization, will not be religious organization, will not be political organization, will not be tribal. You know, now organization will recognize how we will fit take help the universe. And in helping the universe, just that say all of us will come be Africans. But we won't help the universe and help the African situation at the same time. And our work at Ministry will protect all the creatures and features where they this earth for climatic and economic sustainability for everybody, so that everybody will fit survive.
NBM is a very great organization. I joined the organization since the university, 1987. And it has been an organization that was formed to fight against every forms of injustice and oppression of the black man. So NBM has been an organization, it's not a secret court. That is why you have people like us who, the members of the organization, they sponsored a parish in my ministry. And it's a non-religious organization, but at most, it has produced a bishop today. So the whole world, and especially Africa, worldwide, should be very proud of this organization.
Presently, we do our 43rd National Convention, where they hold for Benin City, for our national headquarters from Agba. And we also they hold our 16th annual lecture. And so far, so good. It's been a wonderful outing. And we've had prominent people, especially from the palace of the Oba of Benin. Their representatives come here, come give us words. And we also get people wade into the security and economic field. We can talk about cyber crime, how we can reduce it, and how to curb crime, the menace of crime in the society. We also talk about terrorism, how to curb terrorism for our nation and the world at large. So far so good. NBM, as we all know, will be the voice of the people. Will be like a civil rights movement, human rights activists, the concern of the people in the world, irrespective of race, and our concern, the welfare of them. We know they support crime, we know they support violence. Now peace, we they preach unity, solidarity. We know be political party, we know be religious party. We are a body that represents the world in a good light. As you can see in the event, we get big people from oil field, we get from the engineering field, real estate field. Like me now, I also do into real estate. And we get people from the forces and the politicians. So I am happy to be here, and I think I'm also speaking the minds of people that this is a very wonderful and colorful event where we never see any issue, we never experience any wahala. We thank God.
This convention will come the whole Gidigba for inside Benin City. Benin is our mother home. Every year like this, we converge to promote our culture, norms and values. And NBM of Africa of today has come to stay, and we are happy. Regarding our visit to the Oba Palace, it was a welcome development, and we were well received by the palace itself and the entire Benin Kingdom.
Use every means legal to fight our battles.
We had a good time, a nice time with the palace.
And I know.
So far so good, everything they go well, and the serene, the environment, they're very, very overwhelming. So we all, they're very happy to see the way things they go on today. And our event we don't start since the past 3 days. The national body of this organization don't try, and they put everything together to ensure say this convention they're very successful. And now the impact of those efforts we see right now. The guest speakers they deliver very good lectures, and we learn from the team, which is the fight against fraud and cyber crime. So, and I believe say most people here don't learn how to fight against crime and how to avoid crime. Also, the chiefs from the Benin Palace, representatives of the Oba of Benin, they give us very good advice concerning how we as an organization will carry ourselves to go. And we appreciate the Oba of Benin for the way he respected and regarded us. He's our royal father, and we are very happy that he was able to grace this occasion with us. So far so good, everything has been very, very excellent.
I want to thank una where say I happy today when I did for the 43rd convention of New Black Movement, NBM of Africa, the 16th lecture series of the movement. It's indeed a great pleasure to be here. It's a nice time to be home, so I'm happy to be here. Today, as you see and now, the major crime when they rage for this country now cyber crime. In the sense, we say all the young men now they don't want to work again. They don't want to learn work. They don't want to go to school. And because of this cyber crime, when they make them, they easily to access fund. You know, with money, if you do anything when you want to do. So at this age now, these young men, when we suppose groom to be better people of tomorrow, to represent this country in all capacity, now they're into cyber crime. Extorting money from innocent persons. unknown to them. So the thing be say the cybercrime, it don't enter the society well, to the extent that our young men and women, they're not even ready to work. You understand what I'm talking about? So because you can find out today that every small pikin when you see, he just buy phone, he just get data, now to do cybercrime, now to go into the internet. And that one, they expose us to many, many risk factors when they destroy our society. So it is very, very good. It's an apt call. It's a proper call when they come at the right time. Say, may we talk this matter to our young boy, young girl, young woman, to make them know, say, this cybercrime, it is not good for our society at all.
Ebu Sereme Obinome, TMC TV News.